any here, let me do this real quick. Yeah, so decided to go live real quick. Maybe it'll be for a little while. If you're watching the recording of this, sorry if it takes me a while to get to the point. I'm really good at ranting. I just had to have a come to Jesus moment with myself. So, and I'll probably have to repeat myself a few times while, people get on here, but I've been talking about doing these 2025 horoscopes forever. And like, maybe because to you, whoever's watching this, I'm just a YouTuber. You don't give a fuck about what I'm doing all the time. But so this isn't that big of a deal for you. But for me, I've talked about doing the 2025s. I paid someone to do the slides for me to do 2025s. I just can't do them. I guess let me TLDR. I can't do. I'm not doing them this year, and maybe I can come back to this in July and do a second half of the year. But for right now, I just can't do them. I have so much on my plate right now that is honestly overwhelming. It's a lot. And do you ever have something that like, and here, like I was kind of thinking about this before I went live. I feel like I have already taken the L and I haven't accepted it yet. And what I mean by taking the L is I should have had these horoscopes up by in December. But because I decided to move and everything that happened with the move and everything else that's going on in my life that you guys don't even know because I can only be so, I shouldn't say so open. There's certain parts of my life that I'm just not going to talk about. You know what I mean? That's just common sense. And because of everything that went down, I remember in Denver before I left, I literally set everything up to record the 2025s, and it was just like I had so many other things to do. Thank you. Crystal C says, okay, you're human. It's one of those things of like, I've got to be easy with myself. I got to be honest with myself. I've been so overwhelmed. And I think the other thing too is I do my best not to read the comments. It is very difficult to not read comments. And a lot of people were like, where's the the 2025s? And rightfully so. I was like 2025s, and to be honest with you, I have 4 of them recorded. And they're on my website for members. If you're a member, go to the if you go to a website, go to the astrology toolkit, you'll scroll all the way down, it's right there. I have 4 of them, but it's each one is about an hour and a half. And this week I actually put out time to do these 2025 horoscopes, but like it's already April. And it's just so like and I have so many things I'm behind on and so many other things I have energy for that I'm like, it's already April. I've already lost the plot. I should have had these out in December and I didn't. And that sucks. It does. Again, maybe I could do it out in maybe I can have this out in July. I could do a second half 2025 horoscopes, but like, someone is asking why can't I have, grace for myself? I'm Jupiter in Capricorn, Saturn in Aries. I'm incredibly hard on myself. And that's for a lot of reasons. But it's one of those things where I'll tell you this much. And for a lot of you, you guys are probably like, all right, Cameron, you're being dramatic or whatever, which is fine. But for me, I don't like quitting and I don't like saying I'm going to do something and not do it. But I said I was going to do these and they should have been done a long time ago. And I just didn't get to it. Just had too much shit. And that's just what happens in life too. Like I'm being, I guess, nice on myself in the sense of like, it's just a lot to do. So we're in eclipse season right now. The moon's in Scorpio. The moon's in my 12th house. I hate it. I have so many other things to do. It's okay, get the drive, but also let's. Yeah, it's everything's just so much right now. I'll tell you that much. But, and like, it's one of those things of like, I wish I could just even explain to you guys. Like, I mean, like, even the website. So, not even to like promote the website, but I don't know if you guys know this. I paid a lot of money and I invested a lot of time to have a website be built, only for it to not work 6 months later. And so we literally built a website from the ground up immediately after. Like, that's all that's been consuming my energy is like moving and this website. And this website has just been, it's been so much work. And now that's something I'm not quitting on, because that's just one of those things of like, this has to happen the way it has to happen. But thank you, Esther. I feel like I'm doing too much, but I feel like I can do more. That's the other thing. I just need to be better at outsourcing and allocating resources, which just right now is would this be nicer? That looks a little bit nicer. Which is just not my strong suit right now. Something I'm learning as I'm growing as a entrepreneur is having people do things for you, and it's very difficult. Like, there's like, I'm just an astrologer and I just talk into a camera, but having to be someone that's like good at hiring people, good at scheduling, that's something I'm working on right now. Being able to delegate, being able to lead people into the right direction of that. That's all stuff that I didn't understand I was signing up for. And you know, I'm not a Leo rising. Everyone keeps saying Leo rising. I'm a Leo sun. Thank you for the book collection. I'm trying to read the comments. It's so hard. But yeah, but you are doing it for me, right, baby? Your readings for this week were so incredibly spot on. Yeah, so like, for example, I tried to record the weekly today to get ahead of it so I can do the year aheads. And the weekly's not good. So I'm going to re-record it, which I don't really do, but it wasn't good. And it wasn't good because I was overwhelmed and stressed. And if I'm overwhelmed and stressed, I'm not going to make good content. So that just defeats the point of everything. So, yeah. So anyway, I wanted to go live and just say it. Like, and sure, it's like a Mercury retrograde. Sure, it's fucking everything else. But like, I can't do the 2025s this year. And like, look, it's already fucking April. Is it really that crazy that it's April? Sounds like a Leo issue. You're giving Aries Mercury. I'm not. I'm trying to catch up on these comments. You also get to wake up every day and do the job of being Cam White. That's a fun way to put it. I like that. I'm just a guy. I'm literally just a fucking guy. I haven't even noticed eclipse energy. You're lucky. Nicole Dennison, I've literally considered hiring a VA, but the you know what the issue is? It's not just hiring a VA, it's onboarding. Like, what people don't understand is like, oh, a VA sounds great, but I got to get you in this, I got to get you in that, I got to explain this to you, I got to do that, I have to do interview process, whether or not I could trust you, because I've hired people before that I learned I couldn't trust, and that really fucked me over. Like Parker, video editor Parker really came through in a lot of ways. If you're watching this, Parker, you're special. But yeah, and I know people like the year aheads, because I not to flex, but I'm accurate. I have clients that have seen me in 2020, not talk to me in 4 years, and come back for consultations because I was accurate. And this is why I'm also passionate about astrology. It's not even like it's not even like oh, I'm accurate. I just know how to fucking read a chart, and anyone could read it this way. You just got to get good at that point. But yeah, it's not so much like I would love to hire people and have everyone fix fix it all for me, but I have to then onboard them, and then I have to explain things to them, and then are they going to do it the right way, and then I got to trust them, and that's a whole process in of itself, and that's a great process. It's just like, you think when you're like a solopreneur, like, oh, I could just hire someone. It's like that. It's like, dude, it's so much more. It's so much more. Like right now I'm working on actual, like on my back end, like for example, if I already have people working for me, if they leave, having a document to give to the next person that's like, here's Cam White Astro standards and procedures. That's a whole other job in and of itself. That's like, bro, I got clients to see, I got videos to make, like, and I got to sit here and think about standards and procedures. I'll work for cookies, bro. Yeah, it's hard, and I'm not complaining, by the way. Like, don't ever get it twisted. I don't like, because I'm a human being and I exist in the situation that I do. I have things that I can complain about, but like, I'm blessed. I have blessed people problems. I'm incredibly blessed to have the, like, oh no, I have the problem of too much work. You know, something I really think about a lot is why does Cam White exist? Why was I raised in the Inland Empire? And it was my grandfather. He was he worked for, I think it was Caterpillar, the tractor company in Illinois. And his union went on strike, and he didn't have any money to take care of my dad or my uncle. And his sister, he had like 9 sisters, got rich somehow. I think she married like a rich guy, and she bought him a ticket to California. And my grandpa brought my grandma and my dad and my uncle with just like a couple, like 2 briefcases, and moved out to California, moved out west. The only reason I'm here is because of a lack of work. And so like, I grew up like, my dad always taught me, take on all the overtime, because my grandpa took all the overtime. My dad always took on overtime work. So I'm not complaining about work whatsoever. It's more so of like I'm so blessed to have so much work. I'm so blessed to have an audience, and so blessed to live in this time that I do. It's that because I'm growing in the way that I am, I have to make very difficult decisions. And one of them is like, okay, I already fucked up the 2025s. These should have been up. They should have been out in December. And because I've been lagging on making that decision of not doing it, it's only made it harder. And see, for example, thank you, Esther. The game plan. I don't know, like there's, for example, I'm a business person, right? I have to promote my stuff, but my game plan videos, like the March game plan, that was genuinely, I couldn't believe how I went about it. Like, again, if you guys want like fucking real raw astrology, because there's only so much I can really do here on YouTube. But I'm saying all this to say, I live and breathe the game plan. Yeah, it's dude, like I'm doing shit differently than everybody else is over there. So I appreciate you guys saying that, but it's just like I don't have any problems. It's just, I think the other thing too is you know, I'm about to go to my Saturn return. Like, and there's a version of astrologers, a group of astrologers, and by the way, I don't blame them for this, but they go, oh, I don't want to listen to pre-Saturn return astrologers. And I've always found that comment funny, because I know 40-year-olds who have not lived anywhere near the amount of life I have lived. I know grown adults who have not learned any lessons in the way that I was forced to learn lessons and grow as a human being. I know adults that are so infantilized in their day-to-day behaviors that you would think like that I'm more mature than them. And so it's just kind of like, I find that I'm not one of those people that like, oh, you shouldn't listen to me because I'm not in Saturn return. It's like, I've the proof's in the fucking pudding. But I will say that Saturn returns are real, and I'm going through this phase of like having to do a lot of shit that is incredibly responsible, that is incredibly hard. And I think the other part of it is, I've been doing this since I was like 19. Like, And in a lot of ways, I understand now when people are like, you know, in their 30s or 40s, they're like, I still feel like my 20-year-old self. I still feel like my 20-year-old self. But I'm not. And so I have to like remind myself like, oh, I'm maturing, I'm growing. I have to do things differently. And so again, this is a video like long TLDR, no 2025s, but like, and so I'm assuming for a lot of you, you're not sitting there every day being like, when is Cameron gonna do the 25s? I'm sure you're not, but like for me, it's a big, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And something that I've really regretted is how long it takes me to make a decision. I should have been like, you know what? I didn't get these out by January. It's done. It's over. We'll just move on. And I'm trying to get better at that, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do. It's I shouldn't say it's very difficult to do anything. I can make things as easy or hard as I want to. But again, I'm really good at making things hard on myself. And I can't do that anymore. Stress is killing me. I make things really stressful to have a hard life because I feel like I have to have a hard life because that's all I know, when I can in turn just stop making things hard for myself and learn to adapt to an easier life. So, yeah, those are just a lot of thoughts I have about, I've not been through my Saturn return. No, I have not. So actually, if you look at April of 2026, there is a Mercury-Mars-Saturn conjunction. April of 2026 is also when I'm like, where the war shit's totally kicking on. That's like the day of my Saturn return. My Saturn return is genuinely like kind of one of the worst Saturn returns you could fucking kind of have. I have human design. I'm like manifesting generator. I don't know enough about it. Yeah, I appreciate all the comments I get about my year aheads. Like, I'm glad they're accurate. People always watch them throughout the year. That's why I like doing it. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm glad you guys would rather less burn out me, because I mean, here's the other thing. I want to do music. Like, if you guys want to know what my personal struggle is, and maybe I'm opening up a little bit too much, here I am doing astrology. Here I am. I got successful at it, which is that it wasn't necessarily what I was anticipating, to be honest. And I want to do music. So what do? And then when you understand the music industry is not what it was. I'm not just looking for a deal. I'm going to go independent. Now, I hope if I go independent, I hope I can be as big as someone like The Weeknd. I really look up to The Weeknd in a lot of ways, more on a business level. But I don't know. And so do I go 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Do I go all the way? Is that the right move? I don't know. I like doing astrology though. So, but I have to make more time for music. Otherwise, I'll die. Like, I know a lot of you go in and out about your dreams or what it is that you want to do in your life, or like whether or not you should. Like, for me, if I don't do music, I die. That's it. And it's not even I die, it's that I live a life of regret and that I don't want to do it. And I can't do that. And I took so much, something that's hard to explain to people. You know, I get a lot of people that want to do astrology, and that's great. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with people. The point that I want to get to is, I look back and I actually sacrificed a lot to do this. I stayed so miserably broke, and I just forced myself to do astrology. Like, there was no like, this magically happened to me and everything. And like, people might think I'm lucky, and I've gotten that accusation before, like, oh, because I'm a white man, I'm lucky. Like, I worked harder than most of these other fuckers. And there's other people, like, for example, you know who's a hard-ass fucking worker is Dan Waits, World Astrology Report guy. Dude, I look at his videos, I'm like, that's a fucking hustler right there. Like, I fuck with hustlers. I fuck with motherfuckers that put in the work. And you know what I think about when I think Dan Wade's content? Because he just hit the ball rolling. I mean, I think his channel's bigger than mine now, which I'm like, damn, if I worked as hard as him, I could be, like, it could happen that fast. I feel like he's such a harder worker than me, and I hate that. I hate that. I think he's a great show. I'm not hating on him whatsoever. I don't like when I see people that work harder than me, though, because I take a lot of pride in that. But I'm saying all this to say, like, you know, a lot of people want something in their life, and like, for example, people are like, oh, it's not about hard work. It's not about, it's like, yeah, it is, actually. It is about hard work. There's a lot of people in this world that are afraid of hard work. And it really is the answer to so much. See, I'm already, you guys are already getting mad at me saying, like, hard work is the key. Yes, so someone says, aren't you able to kind of see where to go? Start with the music with your astrology background? Yes. I already know how to go about it. It's just one of those things of, like, for example, I could see how the astrology plays out. I could see how that'll work out with me. That's not a guarantee. Does that make sense? Enough of bullshit about not posting 2025 horoscope. All right, Ching Chong man with your fucking Mandarin. Sorry, that's racist, but I don't care. I'm trying to read the comments. But yeah, hard work, but if you aren't good enough, you're just wasting your time. But that's the thing. That's the smart work too. Yeah, you know, Marin Altman does both, quote unquote. There are other avenues of creating revenue that are a pathway for what seems to be a lot of people nowadays that I'm not going to participate in. That's what I'll say. Yeah, so anyway, I think the other thing is, I like the music thing. There's no guarantees. But yeah, work smart thing. I also want to bring up the work smart thing. You need to work hard, but if you work smart, you figure out, like, again, I think another thing is a lot of people just think only hard work's going to get it. Like, hard work, for example, my family, I'm the only one in my family that does what I do. Like, my stepdad is a farmer. My dad was a firefighter. My uncles, my cousins, firefighters, wrench turners, mechanics, plumbers. That's where I come from. And they're hard workers. I will not deny that one fucking bit. But there's a different level of hard work, which hard work also means figuring out how to change things. Hard work might look like Googling shit and being like, how do I change this? How do I do that? Like, there's a certain level of hard work of even owning a business that so many people that don't want to do. So it's one of those things of, like, I also look at, like, smart work is also hard work because you actually have to think. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people stuck in situations that they don't want to be in, but they're afraid of doing the hard work of, like, actually thinking and strategizing about stuff. I do need a massage. The music business is mostly that business. The industry is tough. Exactly. And so, for example, I know a lot of people that have to make music to survive, and I don't want that. I'm in a pretty fucking kick-ass place. Like, I get to be a wizard for a living, and a damn good one, and I get to make music. Now, if my music blew up and I got to play shows, all I really want to do is tour. Like, I want to tour. By the way, if I go on tour with music, I'm not like, I'm going to try my best to do weekly astrology, but there's going to be a fat minute where I take a break. And I'm not quitting astrology, but I might take some breaks because all I want to do is tour. That's what I want. That's what my soul came here to do. I think that's also why I like doing social media stuff, is I have an audience to talk to. But it's it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. Because by the way, I don't buy my music. Because there's a thing, I do I do everything. There are singers that buy their beats. Like I make everything myself. I'm doing a lot of my own sound design. There's a lot of producers that simply sample music, and this is a really controversial opinion. I don't really believe sampling music is producing music. Sorry. You're literally taking the whole part of it that's music and calling that yours. And as much as I like sampling, I think sampling is super cool. Stop whining and sing us a song, Piano Man. That's funny. I know. I might do a Miami event. It wouldn't be music related. It's not that I want to do music as a hobby. I want to be a big artist. It's just that, like, for example, a lot of you don't actually understand the music industry. Like, there are people that sign for record deals and they get $1 million, let's say, and that's all recoupable funds, to where they're now like indentured servitude to their label. And like, if that music doesn't perform, guess what? You got to make more music in order to pay back that $1 million. So it's just one of those things where the music industry is pretty fucking horrible. But also going independent is another viable path that's also really hard to do. Because then, for example, but your songs don't have a hook. Great point. You know why they don't have a fucking hook? Because there's music that is designed only for TikTok today. And there's songs that I like about it, and there's songs like, I don't want to make songs just to get people's 15-second, like, I want to make my music. And I don't want to make music simply to like feed the algorithm just to get listens. So you guys can hear my spike of music. I feel like I don't talk about it enough. Wizard Music Man, LOL. That's pretty much me. Quit picking at the mean comments and say I love you. LOL. I love you. Musicians who make their living with music have no home. I feel that. No, I'm not mad at you, Aaron. It's just more of like, there's a reason behind everything. Trust me. I can, like, do you know how easy it is, by the way? Do you know how easy it is to be a rapper nowadays? Why do you think everyone does it? Like, white dudes that become rappers, I'm sick of it. Like, if you were a white dude that raps before 2018, that's like my comfort zone. After that, it's just like, everyone does it, and it's all the same fucking thing. And it's like, I'm so over rap music. It's why I listen to 3 artists. I listen to like Currency, I listen to Future, I listen to Suicide Boys. That's pretty much it. And I know Suicide Boys is cringe, but I've been listening to them since, like, I'm like an OG listener to them. So anyway, I'm on a music right now. But anyway, Carrie, well, that's a kind of a funny comment to make. I'm sorry, I started rapping 20 years ago. I'm totally original. I freestyle and write. My partner died, though. I rap. I feel you about the white rappers. White people rap. And by the way, like, there are really good white people rappers. And it's not even about a race thing. It's just one of those things where, like, I was listening to Project Pat before this whole renaissance of Memphis style music. I was listening to DJ Screw before that shit was cool as fuck. Like, that's something people don't understand, is what rap is today is influenced by what rap was 30 years ago, and it's just remixed and redone. And so, like, I was listening to Project Pat before, like, anyone knew who the fuck that was. Same thing too, like, I was listening to, like, Raider Clan. I don't know if you guys fucking know Raider Clan. That's like some old school, like back when Denzel Curry and Young Simi were like all around. And why this is really relevant is that Memphis style of music has put itself into things like country music. Like, when you hear country music with trap hi-hats, that's from Memphis rap. That's what that's from. So it's just, and so when you hear all these white dude rappers nowadays, they're just stealing from that, and they don't. And sure, maybe some of them know it, but I know Project Pat dropped rappers, but I was into BMX. So in the BMX world, like BMX in the skating world, you just knew about underground music all the time, like because you would put in, I'd watch BMX edits. Same thing, motocross edits. Motocross edits were mostly like punk music, but and I'm not a big punk music guy. But anyway, I'm saying all that to say, it's really lost its soul in a lot of ways. There's rap that I love. Like I'm a huge Future. Like Future is one of those rappers that I don't know why people talk shit on him or don't like. Future's literally like, Future is the Michael Jackson of like rap world in my opinion. But anyway, I'll leave you guys off with this because it's starting to get dark. That's a little bit better. Should I do this? That doesn't really change much, does it? I'll leave you guys off with this. Not doing the 2025s. Isn't he still going to jail? Who's going to jail? No, the lighting's bad. Bad Barbie. I fuck with Bad Barbie. Bad Barbie has always been for real, no matter what. I love Migos. I listen to Migos. Migos is funny. Aaron, I can't see all the questions. So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys off with this. I appreciate you all being here. I can't do the 2025s. I already feel better just saying I'm not going to fucking do them. If you got a problem with it, I'm sorry. I'm a human being. So it's just how it goes. I don't like punk music. I really don't. I saw Leftover Crack at Punk Rock Bowling one time. And I lived with a punk band. A big punk band here in Vegas I lived with for a while. It's okay. I saw this coming. Yeah, it was kind of coming, wasn't it? It's so hard to search your music. I am trying now. Spyca, Spyca. What about doing Astro during jam sessions? Maybe I'll balance out both your passions. That's like, I feel like Astro during jam sessions, whatever you mean by that, is like being married to someone and then being like, hey, honey, what if I brought our mistress in for a threesome? Those worlds shouldn't collide. I don't want them to collide. I want them to be separate. What U.S. city has the best music scene right now? I don't know. I don't know if that exists the way that it used to exist. How'd you like the Moon lecture? You seemed over it a few months ago. Girl, Apollo TV? I don't even know if you're a girl. I can't tell. I am over it. I've got so much shit, and it's just been weighing on me. And it's just like, I've wanted to do it. I have sat down to go and do it, and then it's like one thing after another. Like, if you're a member on my website right now, and that you were a legacy member, you fucking know what this week was like. Nope, no collision. Yes, best weekly settlement for rising sign. I'm a Sag rising. You guys should know this. No. Well, I mean, yeah, I get that all the time. I appreciate for signing up. Thank you. Don't do sun signs, dumb. Thank you everyone for saying my weeklies are good. Well, all right, I'm gonna leave you guys off with that because otherwise I'm just gonna keep yapping here. I need to get some food. I'm pretty fucking hungry. So I appreciate you all, and I'll see you later.